So Pop CLI is the command line interface, an all-in-one tool for like Polkadot development. It's built by Rogue, like also like a parachain team that I'm working for, and it is a very amazing tool. And this tool gonna allow you to deploy on Polkadot easily. So to install like Pop CLI, you're gonna like follow this guide, cargo install and Pop CLI. And after running the command, ensure that like on your local, you already have Rust installed because this requires Rust. But yeah, on your local, after you install, when you run like pop version, and you're gonna find like the version of Pop CLI. And here I'm using like the Pop CLI 0.60, but you can either use the latest version of the Pop CLI. So after install, and ensure that like it's already on your local. And ensure that it's already like on your local, then we're gonna go to like one of the parachain project. So here I'm already in one of the parachain project called Popnode. But like if you not familiar with the parachain code base yet, you can like run like pop new, and using like the pop new command, you can run like pop new parachain. And this pop new parachain is gonna ask you to choose to pick a template, for example like parody or like a pop template. So let's say like I choose like pop template, and this is gonna be like standard asset contract EVM. Depend on the template that you choose, it's gonna provide, it's gonna repair your parachain with the functionality of the template. For example, like for the standard, it's basically just a standard parachain. Doesn't have any like advanced functionality for the parachain, for this parachain template. But like for the asset parachain, so this parachain is basically configured with fungible and non-fungible asset functionality that allow you to manage the tokens, also manage the NFT. And let's say I choose the asset parachain. It's going to ask me to select a specific release. So this is the version of the Polkadot SDK that you want to choose for your template. I'm going to choose the Polkadot stable 2024 tail. And where should your project be created? Then I'm going to specify the path to encode club parachain, the unit of symbol of your parachain token. So I just use the default value. And after running the command, you're gonna see like this parachain is already like ready to for hacking. So you can go to like encode club parachain, and you have like your parachain ready with the node and also like the runtime. And this parachain template is also actually like can be deployed already as on like any kind of network. Now we're gonna try to deploy it. I'm gonna go back to the pop node because I already have this one built, so I can like easily deploy it. So to deploy it, you're gonna run pop up. First, before I show you like how to deploy it on the actual network, I'm gonna show you like how to simulate the network and then deploy this one on this simulated network. So to simulate the network with a tool called simplifies under the hood, so you're gonna specify like the network and also like the TOM file. This TOM file can be found on the Polkadot. So this one is the documentation of Pop CLI. Then you can find how to deploy, how to set up the local environment for the parachain. So here like launch a change, and here is gonna have like the documentation to deploy a change, and also here like how to launch a chain to parcel the testnet of Polkadot, or just simply like launch a chain in development. Then you're gonna have like the TOM file, and you just simply copy it to any TOM file and to any like file.tom. So I go to network and then devnet. Here I already have the example TOM file, and I don't create it again. But yeah, so just reuse that and then run like pop-up network with the TOM file. And it's gonna launch a local network. Then it's gonna ask you to source the binary, just simply like yes, and it's automatically let's all the needed binary for you to deploy. So now let's go back here and learn a bit about this this TOM file. Here you have like the relay change, and the parachain. So the relay chain is the model change, or we can also say that it's a hook that like any parachain gonna like connect to. And here you like to specify the parachain, you're gonna have like the parachain gonna have its own ID. And with like the tool, like the Pop gonna automatically reserve this parachain ID on the local network. Now we go back and we see like this parachain is already launched. The whole like relay chain parachain network is already like, launched on local. Now let's check. Go to like Polkadot.js and see like, if this if I can like connect to this network. And you can see like now my blockchain network is already like producing, trying to produce like new block every like 6 seconds based on the configuration of the runtime. Now let's say I have so this network currently this local parachain network currently only have like one parachain, actually like two parachains, the Pop network and the asset hook network. You can check that in the parachain, and you can find that there's actually like two parachain here, with the 1000 stand for asset hook and for 4001 stand for Pop network. So let's say like I want to reserve and also like deploy a new parachain on this local network. How can I do that? I'm gonna go to the developer. Let's say I go to the encode club, the one that we just like created like a few minutes ago, and now I run like pop-up, and this is gonna ask me like select the deployment method. We don't like talk about this Polkadot deployment portal yet, but just go to the register, and you're gonna enter the relay chain node URL. Here you're gonna pick the relay chain node URL. You can pick like one of these nodes. So these are like the node of the relay chain and just copy from Alice node. And it's gonna ask you like, would you like to use the pure proxy for registrations? And you can this is the best practice. So you can simply like click yes, or basically just select no. There is gonna open like a signing portal for you to connect the wallet and sign in. Oh, my account actually doesn't have any token yet, so I'm gonna try to send a few tokens to this network. Some man wallet, and I'm gonna send 100. Maybe I'm gonna try to set for set the balance. So Alice is the super user of the blockchain network. I'm gonna set, go to like a sudo balances, and then I first set the balance of the main wallet to maybe give it as much as we can, so that we can also like register the parachain later. So after sending the token, after setting the balance of the wallet, now go back here and we're gonna find yeah. So okay, so this wallet currently have like 100,000 unit, and is can reserve this new ID. You may wonder like, what is like reserving parachain ID means? So go back here and go to the parachain, and you can find like there's a list of parachain listed here, and the idea of reserving the parachain ID is basically like you reserving that ID, so like no, like other people cannot like take that ID from you. And submitting the transactions. Here's the signing successful. So the Pop CLI already submit the site transaction, and we can close the tab and go back to the terminal. And you can see like on the terminal, it's submitting the extrinsic and waiting for finalization. Okay, so after running the command, you can find like there's an event emitted called reserve, and the new parachain ID 2000 is already reserved on the network. With this is the owner of the parachain ID, and here Sile successfully reserved the ID of the parachain. We go back to the substrate portal and go to the parachain. Actually, let's go to the extrinsics. Just state. We're gonna check like the storage whether like this is already been reserved, and we're gonna provide it 2000. And on, as you see like on the on our local relay change, this on our local relay change, this parachain ID is already reserved with this deposit. Now it's asked us to provide the chain specifications, so let's provide that and the path to the chain spec. Here is choose the relay change that we'll be connecting to. So as we are running on Pasa local, so let's select like Pasa local and enter the protocol ID. I will just use the default value, my protocol. And would you like to use the local host as a boot node? So maybe no. Would you like to build the runtime deterministically? If you build your parachain for productions, so it's a good practice. It's a good practice to build your runtime deterministically, and there's a documentation about like building the runtime deterministically that you can find on the Polkadot as well. Just in here. Then you can read more about like building the runtime deterministically. But here I just because I'm like building the runtime deterministically, it's gonna take you a while, maybe like around like 10-15 minutes, and this is not like fit to the time span of this workshop. And also like this one require like Docker and Podman. So if you don't have like these containerization solutions, so remember to download like Docker or Podman first. So you can like simply like download Docker by searching like Docker and go to Docker and download like Docker desktop if you're using like macOS. I'm not familiar with Windows, but as here you can like find all the options to download the Docker on your desktop. For Podman, just you simply like search for Podman, go to Podman, and you can also like find the option to install Podman on your macOS as well if you're using macOS. Okay, now go back and I select no. Now it's building the chain spec, and it's gonna take you a while because it's also require your node and your runtime to be built. So it's gonna take you a while. While we are waiting for this, so if you have any questions, so feel free to ask me by sending the question in the chat sections, and I'm gonna try to answer that. Okay, so while we're waiting for this, let's go to the documentations, and let's say like if you choose when they ask you, when like the CUI asks you if you want to use the proxy for deployment, I also like show you here like how you can also like call to the network to create a new proxy for your account and use that as the best practice for your deployment. If you're not familiar with the proxy, so in the documentation, it's also explained like why you should use the proxy as well. So simply speaking, so like using a proxy is a more secure way because you can limit the permissions, limit the asset of the proxy on the specific action instead of like using your your wallet directly and then access to all the things of the deployment. And also there's a more benefit than that. So just remember reading the documentation. So let's say like, if we want to create a new proxy account, we're gonna use a pop call. In the pop call, there's two subcommand called pop call change and pop call contract. So the pop call change is basically call to a change or call to a parachain. On pop call contract is basically like sending a call request to a contract. So let's say I call the pop call change, and here is ask you like which chain would you like to interact with. I'm gonna provide the same. Where's my network? I'm gonna provide the same Alice node that I inputted before. Okay, so after entering the URL to the relation node, it's gonna ask you like what you would like to do. Like you can also like, purchase an on-demand call time, but we're gonna learn about this later. But here we're gonna create a new pure proxies. So our pure proxies, we only want to limit the access to parachain registration. So we can like just select like parachain registrations and enter the value of the parameter delay. You can choose like 0, index 0, and select no. Do you want to use your browser wallet to sign extrinsic? Select yes, and it's gonna pop up the signing portal again for you to sign the transactions. Back here. And then it's gonna ask you to sign the transactions. Click submit. Make sure like your account already like deposited with the fund, with sufficient fund to create a new pure proxy. So signing successful. Then you can also close the signing portal. Go back. Go back here. And then you see like the pure proxy is already created, and you can also find like the pure proxy created here to the event. So this is the pure proxy account. You can save it somewhere. I'm gonna send it here in the chat sections, and this is like my account. Then you can like just choose no, like I don't want to perform any other call. Then we go back. Let's wait for this node to be built. It's already like halfway. Like yeah, it's maybe like gonna take another 5 minutes for this to be built successfully. And now let's go back to the documentations. So what we haven't covered yet. So let's assume like the chain is already built and you want to acquire the core term. And we're gonna talk a bit about the core term. So is it the core term? You can find like the core term documentation here. So the core term is basically the core that I just cover in like the theory slide. It's similar to the CPU core. So it's like if you want to access to the resources of the Polkadot network, you have to acquire a new core. And the more core you have, the more resources you have, or resources here equal to the computing power or the storage bandwidth, something like that. To acquire the new core, here like in the Polkadot wiki is explained quite well, like what is the core term and why do we need core term, and also like the mechanic behind the core term. So if you want to learn more about the core term, visit this documentation to learn more about it. But here I just simply like explain that core time similar to the CPU core. If you want more resource, just buy more core. Go to the core time marketplace. Then you can also acquire more core. There's like currently there's two like common core time marketplace on Polkadot, but I'm more familiar with this side like region X. So on the region X that you can select like parcel. It's also like the network that we deploying. Just remember, this is not like the local network that we are working on, but I'm interacting with the parcel directly. So on like the purpose is to like guide you guys to like what is like the core time marketplace and how you can like, acquire new core on the core time marketplace. So on RegionX, their user interface show you like a few different tabs to manage the core. For example, like here when I go to like my regions, I remember I have like a few core on Parcel, but why don't see it here? To buy a new core, you have to like just transfer from Parcel to Parcel core time. And here, like on Parcel testnet, I have around like 189 parcel. Meanwhile, I'm on Parcel core time. I have like 34 parcel. So I want to transfer from the testnet, from the relay change to the Parcel core time. You have to transfer to the core time system parachain directly if you want to buy a new core. Let's say if I want to transfer 20 parcel, and I click the transfer and approve, you see that now my transaction is already in the block and waiting for a while for it to be finalized and added to the share state of the relay change. So now you see like the parcel core time is already have like 54 parcel, while like parcel testnet is decreased to like 189. Click on renew. I remember like I have like a few different core here. So let's try to renew. Before we renew, let's see if we can like buy a new core. So go to like purchase a core, and then you can find like some information about the core here. So like how many core that are offered for sale. There are currently like 5 core available for sale, and the number of cores sold is 0, and ideal core sold gonna be 5. So let's say like if I want to purchase a core, oh, I think that the sale period is already start, so I cannot like purchase a core at this moment. So let's say like if you already purchased a core, you're gonna see that a new core in the my region's UI. And after a while, like, your core gonna be expired, and you have to renew a core. So like if I want to renew this core, oh, actually, I don't have like enough parcel to renew the core. But yeah, in theory, like when you click on it and you have enough parcel, you can like renew this core. Now let's see, like if our node is already built successfully. It's quite bad, like that my machine is already um, run out of storage, so I cannot build it successfully. Okay, I just cleaned up my machine, and then let's try to build a node again. So let's run pop-up, register, and then copy the same relation node that we have before. This time, let's make it different, that we use the pure proxy instead. That's wrong. Yeah, I think like my machine right now is it's not good because it's run out of the storage space. So I have to clean up my machine if I want this functionality to work like seamlessly. So need to wait for around like 30 seconds for it to clean up. Yeah, remember like, if you have any question, like, feel free to send in the chat sections. Yeah. Or if you basically just need more resources, need more like tutorial, any guides, just feel free to ask me, and then I'm gonna send that to you. Okay, run the command again. Okay, so now I know already start correctly, and I want to use the pure proxy for the registrations. Um, if I'm correct, I have to create the pure proxy again because I already restart my simulated network. So let's go here, create a new pure proxy. Start again, similar to like the previous step that we already follow. Now close the tab and go back. Oh, the account doesn't have any balance. Yeah, same as you like before. So we have to populate the account with like a few parcel. Go to the account. Let's set the balance of the account. Now let's check the balance of the current wallet. So we have 10,000 unit. Maybe like set more balance for it, just in case. So let's create a new a pure proxy again. Then have to go to the designing portal, sign in, and you can find it's submitting a transaction again. So give it 10 seconds, and it's gonna create the pure proxy for you. So here is asked like enter your pure proxy account or the account that the proxy will make a call on behalf of. So basically you can provide like either the who or the pure proxy, or basically either your wallet or the pure proxy. And then sign this again. Um, oh yeah, I have to deposit to the proxy balance, the proxy account. So let's set the balance of the proxy. Yeah, when you use the pure proxy, it's gonna pay. It's the proxy going to be the one who pay for the transaction instead of the main wallet. So you have to set the balance of the proxy. Wait for the transaction to be added to the block. Um, okay, so now the pure proxy already have sufficient balance. It's going to assign the transaction to reserve a new parachain ID. And we can close the tab and go back. Okay, and now our parachain is already reserved again. Here is used 2,000 because it's the new simulated network, so it can just reserve the same parachain IDs like the previous sections that we have. Now we provide the chain spec, def chain spec, pass a local. And this time it's gonna have to build the node and also like the runtime again. But it takes faster than before because we already like quite close to finish the building process, and we only like got an issue with the storage on my machine, so it can like just continue on the same stage that we had before. Okay, so let's say I want to acquire a new core time, and I'm gonna run like pop core change the URL and purchase on demand core time. Enter the value of the parameter account. XML 1. Was spot price higher than max amount? Because the process of buying a core is basically like placing a bid instead of like buying it directly. So you have to just provide the amount that you want to place for a bid. And you see here that the core time is already be bought, um, and we can select no. And this already like, acquire the core, place the on-demand core time, place the order to buy the on-demand core time for the purchase ID the 2000. Now the only last step that we need to like deploy a new parachain is basically just wait for this node to be built. Most of the time, like when you develop a new parachain, the longest process is basically just building a node. That's the longest process. But aside from that, like I think that most of the experience building the parachain recently is quite smooth. It's better. It's much better than before because you have like a tool like Pop CLI. When you like develop a like ECM application, you also have a few different tools like a Chopstick allow you to test as well. So there's like a lot of tool in Polkadot ecosystem already for you to like speed up your development process. Okay. All right, so let's just start again on this page. So this is the parachain deployment, the official documentation from Parity to deploy a parachain network. And actually, like most of the time, that you don't have to care about this documentation if you use the Pop CLI, because Pop CLI is already abstract all the complex logic of deploying a parachain away. So as a builder, you just simply use Pop CLI, and it's already handle all those for you, so you don't have to care about it. But let me just go through this step a bit, so you're gonna learn like how close like we are getting to our parachain deploy. Yeah, let's see, like we're getting there, like only the one last step. Okay, so the first one going to be reserving a parachain ID on Parcel. And as you remember, we already have like our parachain ID 2000 reserved on ParcelNet testnet, right? And we already finished this step with only like running a few commands. But actually, if you don't use like Pop CLI and you have to go to like Polkadot.js app manually, you have to select the palette with register and then like select the string reserve to reserve a new parachain ID. But like with Pop CLI, you don't have to handle that. Okay, so I think like our node is built successfully and it's amazing. So now let's just go to our signing portal again. Oops. Go to the signing portal, and then we reserve. So the cost for reserve, oh, sorry, not reserve, but we register. So the cost for registering a new parachain ID is going to be around like 3,262. Most of it is the cost for like depositing a new storage, because like you need your node battery to be on the Polkadot blockchain, so you need like to pay for the cost of the storage. And I think our proxy has sufficient balance to handle that. So just click submit and then approve, then we are good to go. Now go back, and you see it's submitting this intrinsic to register a new parachain. Bam, and then you see like our parachains already registered. The registration is successful. Now we go to the relation and the parachain list. Then you go to the parachain, and you can find like here the parachain that we just built, and it's already like ready to go. Now it's have to go through like a few different stage. Now it's at the onboarding stage, and then later it's going to be assigned to one of the core that we already like purchased using like Pop CLI. And then later than that, then our parachain is going to be ready to go, and then you're going to see like the parachain going to produce a new block. Yeah, but like to access to this parachain, you have to run like deploy the RPC node. Here, like there's a documentation for RPC deployment. So what is the RPC deployment? So an RPC node is a server that allows the external application to interact with the Polkadot chain. So this interaction is facilitated through a set of standardized API, which enable the execution of various operations. Yeah, so yeah, it's cover like most of the documentation here. And then you just follow this step to like deploy a new RPC, and then you can access to the blockchain that already like deployed on the Polkadot relay chain. Okay, so I think like that's cover all the things that we have in today's workshop about like deploying parachain. Yeah, it's take like a while for like the node to be built, and I hope that you that is not like bring you like bad experience, because to be honest, like there's a lot of knowledge in today's workshop, and luckily that we already cover all of them in like 1 hour, and that amazing to see like a new parachain deploy on like the relay chain. And what is like what's more than that, like just build and then deploy a new parachain using like Pop CLI. And then I hope like this workshop today is useful to your journey of participating to this hackathon and building during this hackathon. And I hope that to see like there's more parachain deployed at the end of the hackathon. And yeah, so let's start hacking. And thank you for listening to